questions, and we will have a live and an embargoed section. If Wayne wants to kick off, then Nick, you can follow that with the first question, mate.
Yeah, just firstly, on behalf of the squad, our condolences go out to Christoph Dominici's family. Obviously, the sad passing, with news of his passing. So yeah, just a sad loss. And then also the second point is Nigel Owens, our own Nigel Owens. I think 100 tests this weekend. So all the best to Nigel, and what a fantastic career he's had. So just wanted to make those couple of points.
I'm sure everyone would echo both of those, Wayne. As for your own affairs, not great news on the injury front, with Liam Williams, Justin Tipuric and Josh Navidi all missing out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but as we've sort of said all along, really, in this autumn series, that's going to create opportunities for others. And in the loose forwards, you know, it's young Jimmy Botham and Shane Lewis-Hughes. So a couple of guys with big futures, and it's you know, we're going to get the questions asked about them, aren't we, in this particular match, because we're up against a very strong England team who are going to bring a lot of intensity, as we know, and what a match for these guys to be tested in.
What about Liam Williams' situation? How close was he?
Yeah, look, it's a nasty facial injury. He was always going to be in doubt, and so for us, it was a simple decision that Lee would start, and we'll give it another week for Liam.
Talk us through the selection of the halfbacks, because you had probably 8 credible combinations that you could have picked there. Why did you go for this one? Yeah,
we just think a reward for the efforts that Lloyd's put in. He's come in, he's done everything asked of him. He's been speed to the breakdown. I think when he's been on the park, we've played some of our best rugby. So he gets an opportunity there. And we look very closely at what we do at 10, and we're going to get both guys a chunk of game time. So we need Callum out there, and he'll get out there, as I say, for a decent part of the second half. To see how he goes in this company. But to start the game, I think with the defence that England are going to bring and the intensity with that, I think Dan's the right guy to start this game. But Callum will certainly finish it.
And were there a lot of players that played themselves into this particular team with their performances against Georgia? Looking at, for example, the three-quarter line, the props, maybe Jake Ball.
Yeah, well, you know, you factor in the form of, or the performance against Georgia in difficult conditions, and then we look at, you know, there's some injuries that have forced some change or have made the selection quite a simple one. But certainly there was the form of the Georgian performance, and a great opportunity again for these guys to be tested. You know, obviously in a massive step up from the Georgia game.
What do you make of the England selection with George Ford back at fly half and a 6-2 split on the bench?
Yeah, very strong team. Obviously, you know, it's close to a World Cup sort of squad, so we know that it's going to be a very big day at the office for us. They're going to test us across the park, so it's exactly what we need, and we're going to get questions answered. So, you know, looking at the Six Nations ahead, we will know exactly where the squad is at and the individuals that we've selected this time around.
And how do you cope with underdog status? Can you make the most of it, maybe, for this one?
Oh, look, you know, what's made of the two sides is really irrelevant. For us, it's Wales, England. It's a match in Wales. So if you think you're ever going to get up for a match, one would suspect this would be the match. So, look, motivation won't be an issue for us. We'll go out there and against a very, very good opposition. Obviously show some respect, but then at the end of the day, we've got to focus on ourselves and what we need to do to win this match. And we're going to have to bring a lot of physicality. We know that, and that's going to be over 80 minutes with the bench that they're going to unload into the game at some stage.
Thank you, Wayne. Good luck.
Thank you.
Wayne, it's Matt here, Wales Online. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Can you just explain the selection of Ryan Elias at hooker? Obviously, things didn't go quite to plan in Dublin with the line out and things like that. Just explain what he's going to bring and why he's been selected there. Yeah,
if you look at the line out, first and foremost, you mentioned there's a lot of factors that go into the line out. One is the throwing, 2 it's the lifting, and 3 there's the jumper as well to all factor in, and the calling system. So yeah, we've looked at what went wrong in Ryan's last outing, and we also had three that went awry with Elliot there. So for us, we've gone with what we suspect is probably our best scrummaging front row. And we think we just think that Ryan just edges it in that department. So he gets another opportunity. And Elliot, who played well against Georgia, will come off the bench.
Eddie Jones has named 6 forwards on the bench. Is that almost laying down the gauntlet to your forward pack and the sort of physicality? He also said that they're going to bring an intensity that Wales have never faced before. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, well, it is a very exciting team that they're bringing, isn't it? From an English point of view, it's a big pack, and they'll keep coming at us with 6 replacements throughout the game. So we have to be prepared for that. We're focusing on what we want to do and what we want to get out of the game. So we've gone with a 6-2-5-3 split for us, and that's what we'll focus on.
And just finally from me, did you ever consider, now the Dragons are out of their lockdown, looking at someone like Ollie Griffiths to perhaps come in, very good at the breakdown, can disrupt there? Did you ever sort of give that much thought?
We're not looking at a person for a one-off game. We're looking at the future here, 2023, and we think someone like Jim Botham is a good prospect, as is Shane Lewis-Hughes, and we want to give those guys a game against one of the best teams in the world and to see exactly where they're at, to see if we're on the right track. And we think we are, and that's why we're giving those two an opportunity.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Wayne, it's Andrew McKenna from TalkSport. Neil Jenkins, when he spoke to us earlier in the week, said that Justin Tipuric was coming through the processes. How close was he to making it in the end? And Josh Navidi as well, because I imagine their experience would have been very useful against this English back row. Yeah,
both were, but both still got the odd symptoms, so they've been ruled out, unfortunately. And we're hopeful that one, if not both, will be available for Italy. And if so, we'll probably use them at some stage in that game.
It's been tough the last couple of weeks. Are you looking to do things differently in this game, or just do things that you have been doing better?
Well, yeah, first and foremost, we tidied up the set piece. Well, it was a lot better against Georgia. So that needs to keep improving because without the possession, it's a long day at the office. And obviously, territory is a big thing as well. We handled that quite well in the last game. But again, we need to build on it because this opposition is going to be a lot sterner across the board in terms of the tests that they'll bring to us. So, look, it's a matter of making sure that we're improving each game, but also looking to make sure that we don't go into our shells too much either, and make sure that when it's on to play in the right parts of the field, that we look to play and be positive.
Finally, just can I ask you about how do you divide up your week and how do you look at different areas? I was intrigued to see Eddie Jones quoted earlier as saying he's going to start working on England's attack after the Lions tour. That might come as a surprise to people listening, because I think they would imagine that you would work on attack and defence on a daily basis in camp, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, look, coaches say a lot of things at a lot of different times. I think you've got to respect the fact that it is getting that team to perform very, very well, the way they're playing at the moment. And we'll wait and see what he does with the attack after the Lions tour. But no, for us, it's a matter of looking at, dividing up our time during the working week, aligning it to what happens in a game, really. There's a certain number of set piece players in a game, certain number of breakdowns, and you have the ball sort of 50% of the time on average, and you don't have it 50% of the time. So you can see where we would go with our timings in training.
Thank you.
Hello, Wayne. I just wondered, when results aren't going your way, as they have been these past few weeks, how do you cope?
Sorry, could you say that again?
When results haven't always gone your way recently, I mean, I know last week was different, but generally, how do you cope with that yourself?
Oh, we look at what we're trying to get out of this tournament, and we're trying to build depth. We're obviously looking to get results at the same time. The results haven't come. A lot of young players have had exposure, I think about 8 new caps. So we're learning a lot in the process, and we're building depth within the squad. That's the positive, and we're seeing what we're seeing at training. So we need to turn that round into better performances. We know that, and that's certainly what we're striving to do.
And sorry, just one more from me. When you're dealing with a team that's had an established pattern of play and you're trying to change that as a new coach because you want to add to what they've got, I mean, just how hard is that process?
Oh, it takes time. It does take time, and you're right. And that a lot of the players that were under Warren played a certain style of game, and we're looking to evolve that attacking side of the game. And it does take time. I know with the Scarlets it took about 3 years. So we're not suggesting that with these players it would take 3 years, but with the international group of players we've got, you'd like to think that'll be a quicker process. It's certainly, we're seeing it at training. We've now got to step up under pressure in games and show it there as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wayne, when Eddie Jones says something like they're going to bring a physicality that you guys have never experienced, how will your players react to hearing that, and especially having seen England against Ireland last week? Will they relish this challenge, or do you think they'll go into their shells a bit?
No, I don't think you'll see anyone go into their shells. I think it's England-Wales. I think you just got to look at the last time we played them. It was a physical encounter, and I think that it ended up about a 33-30 result. But certainly, we would expect nothing less, and we'd expect nothing less than a confident Eddie Jones making comments like that, because he's in that position where he can do it. The boys have been playing very, very well in that white jersey. So, look, it's nothing that we wouldn't expect, and if anything, just adds to the occasion.